Testing. 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 Testing 1, 2, 3. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Husky Softball here on the Husky Sports Network. Coming to you live from Husky Field here on the campus of HBU here in Houston, Texas. John Beck bringing you the action this afternoon. A balmy 75 this afternoon on Saturday. With rain in the forecast tomorrow, both teams look to bring the Thunder this afternoon to win the deciding matchup, or deciding game, I should say, in this opening conference series between the visiting Abilene Christian Wildcats and your HBU Huskies. Both head coaches come out to exchange lineup cards at home plate. Dimensions here at Husky Field. 200 down the lines, 218 to straightaway center field. Wind is blowing out towards right this afternoon, so may see a lot of balls leave the yard. Let's go ahead and give you the lineups for this afternoon's matchup. First for the Abilene Christian Wildcats, leading off will be the left fielder Danielle Johnson. Batting second is the DH Val Rudd. Batting third in the circle this afternoon for the Wildcats, Samantha Bradley. Batting fourth and playing first base, Kaylee Burris. And batting fifth and second base, Shaylee Alani. Batting sixth and playing third, Caitlyn Belch. Batting seventh and behind the dish this afternoon, Avery Mylock. Batting eighth and at shortstop, Randy Davila. And batting ninth is the center fielder, Carolyn Adair. Top three for the Wildcats, Johnson, Rudd, and Bradley. Middle three, Burris, Alani, and Belch. And the bottom three, Mylock, Davila, and Adair. The lineup for your HBU Huskies. Leading it off will be Shelby Eccles, the shortstop. Batting second and catching, Heidi Yaquez. Batting third and playing third, Autumn Sidlick. Batting fourth and playing first base, Caitlyn Brockway. Batting fifth and playing second, Jay-Z Roberts. Batting sixth and playing center field, Riley Bullen. Batting seventh and DHing this afternoon, Jackie Jessup. Batting eighth and playing right field, Sierra Humphrey. And batting ninth, playing left, Cameron Parker. Be back with more just after this on the Husky Sports Network.
Leading off and in the left, number 9, Danielle Johnson. Batting second as the designated player, number 77, Val Rudd. Batting third and pitching, number 33, Sam Bradley. Batting cleanup and playing first base, number 19, Kaylee Burris.
And welcome back. John Beck once again for Husky Sports Network.
Second, number 5, Shaylee Alani.
The team split their doubleheader yesterday with ACU winning the first game and HBU winning the nightcap. Both teams are 1-1 in Southland Conference play as this is the opening weekend of conference action.
And at shortstop, number 25, Randy Davila.
Taking a look briefly at the standings so far after two games.
Playing right field, number 1, Blakely Ferguson.
Northwestern State, Southeastern Louisiana, and McNeese and SFA all won their opening two games yesterday. Swept their doubleheader on Friday evening.
All right, fans, get
Then
on your
HBU,
feet.
A&M,
Here
Corpus
is
Christi,
your
and
first
Sam Houston State,
HBU Husky.
as well as ACU, coming in at 1-1 to this afternoon's action. Central Arkansas, Nichols, Incarnate Word, and Lamar all started the conference play 0-2.
Batting third at third base, number
Taking a look around the Southland,
Autumn Sidlick.
Lamar will be at Southeastern Louisiana, Stephen F. Austin and Incarnate Word,
Batting cleanup and
Sam
first
Houston
base,
State
number 23,
at A&M Corpus
Caitlyn
Christi,
Brockway.
and Northwestern State over at Nichols. All those games will be
Batting fifth,
around the same
center
time
fielder
ours
number
is this
1,
afternoon at
Casey
noon,
Foster.
and then Central Arkansas McNeese a little bit later at 1
Batting
p.m.
sixth, center fielder number 5, Riley Bullen. Batting
ACU,
seventh,
the visiting
designated
team this
hitter number
afternoon, but in
27,
white
Jackie
uniforms, white
Jessup.
tops, white pants,
Batting
purple
eighth,
piping down the
right
side of that
fielder
white
number
pants.
32, Sierra
ACU on the front
Hunter.
with purple numerals on the back. The
Batting
Huskies
ninth,
this
left
afternoon,
fielder number 14,
a
Cameron
slate
Parker.
gray uniform top
And
with
in the
white
circle for
pants.
your Huskies, number
Huskies
22,
emblazoned on the front in
Wes
royal blue,
Wildschloss.
and a royal blue numeral outlined in white on the back.
Your Huskies are coached by head coach Mary Ellen
We'll be
Hall,
back with more and the first pitch right here on Husky Sports Network right after this. And welcome back to Husky Field. John Beck here for Husky Sports Network. Defensively for HBU, moving left to right, Parker in left, Bullen in center, Humphrey in right. Across the infield, Sidlick at third, Eccles at short, Roberts at second, and Brockaway at first. And the battery this afternoon made up of Jaquez behind the plate and Patak in the circle for the Huskies. As the Huskies take the field. It'll be Johnson, Rudd, and Bradley to lead off the game for the Wildcats. The wind starting to die down a bit as I say that, it picks up and the flags move out towards right field. Once again, these teams split their doubleheader yesterday. Abilene Christian winning the first, and the Huskies taking the nightcap. Jaquez throws it down, and we're about to get underway here in game number 3. Johnson will lead it off for the Wildcats. Comes in the senior batting .500 on the year. Right-handed batting left fielder. Abilene Christian, 5-14 record. Again, 1-1 in conference play. HBU coming in with an 8-2 record. Also 1-1 in conference play. Little delay to start the game.
At bat for the Wildcats, number 9, Danielle Johnson.
Looks like Batak needed the wristband with the signals. He steps in and toes the rubbers. Johnson's ready to go. Open stance for the right-handed batter. First pitch. Misses outside and low for ball 1. Underway now at Husky Field. John Beck for Husky Sports Network. Johnson waggles the bat overhead. Next pitch. Catches the inside corner, and the count is even at 1-1. Sidlick and Brockaway pulled in front of the bags over at third and first, respectively. Here comes the pitch. That one bounces, and it's now 2-1. Johnson steps back in, taps the plate. Waves the bat in front of her as Batak delivers. This one's scalded over to short, but caught, snagged out of midair by Eccles, and there's one away in the inning. That'll bring up Rudd now. Right-handed batting DH for the Wildcats, a sophomore batting .250 on the year. A double, a triple, and 2 home runs could go with 7 RBI. Wide open stance from the right-handed batter. Here comes the pitch from Batak. Taken for a called strike in the inside corner, 0-1. Batak working quickly here. This one's fouled back to the screen. The count is now 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Taken a little high. Looked like it was at the letters, but too high for the home plate umpire, and the count moves to 1-2. Batak checks the wristband, delivers. This one's lined down the left field line, but foul. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Awaiting on deck is the Wildcat pitcher, Samantha Bradley. Open stance for the sophomore as Batak delivers. On the ground towards third. Sidlick bobbles it a bit, fires over to first. Not in time, though, as Rudd's able to beat it out for the infield single. Ball was hit pretty hard over to Sidlick. Bounced off the tip of her glove, but unable to recover in time as Rudd was moving down the line. So be running on first now, 1 away. 0-0 our score as the pitcher for the Wildcats, Samantha Bradley, steps in. Third right-handed hitter in a row for the Wildcats. Slightly open stance for us. Batak delivers. This one's lifted Down the left side, and that'll be out of play for strike one. Bradley, the senior, 286 on the year. 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 6 RBI. Patak. That one's low and inside for ball 1. Count evens now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner at first, Rudd. Patak's delivery. Fouled out of play towards the right side. This one's up and out of the stadium. Hopefully not near my car that's over in that area. Didn't hear any windshield brakes, so I guess we're good. Patak steps back in the circle. Delivers. That one's high. Count now at 2-2. Everybody steps back in. The 2-2 pitch. Line down the left field line, but foul. So we'll stay here at 2-2. Waiting on deck is Kaylee Burris. If the inning were to... 1 away here in the inning. As Danielle Johnson led off the ball game with a line out to the shortstop Eccles. Rudd reached on a infield single. She stands over at first. The 2-2 pitch. This one's fouled back. Jaquez underneath it and catches it for the second out. Two away now, runner at first. That brings up Kaylee Burris, the junior first baseman for the Wildcats, batting .340 on the year. With 4 doubles, 7 home runs, and 14 RBIs, the heavy hitter in the Wildcat lineup. Steps in, left-handed batter. First pitch to her. Past the glove of Brockway over at first. Rudd rounds second, heads to third. She's being waved home. Here comes the throw, and it's offline as Rudd's able to score. Throw down to third, though, to get Burris, and she slides in safely with an RBI triple, and the score is now 1-0 Wildcats. That ball was scalded down the right side. Brockway really didn't stand a chance. I don't think she even saw it. So the Wildcats strike first here. That'll bring up Shaylee Alani, the sophomore second baseman for ACU. Another left-handed batter. Runner at third is Burris. Drove in the first run of the ball game, and that one's taken for a called strike by Alani. Alani batting .326 on the year. 7 doubles and 9 RBIs. Takes that one outside and low for ball 1. The 1-1 pitch. Slightly high and outside for ball 2. 2-1 on the count. 2 away in the inning. Sorry, 1 away in the inning. That one's on the ground towards third. Sidlick up with it. Fires over to Brockway. And that will end the inning. So 1 run on 2 hits. No errors. 1 runner left on. After a half inning of play, it's Wildcats 1. HBU coming to bat. Bring you more here on the Husky Sports Network right after this. ACU strikes first in the top of the first inning. They lead it 1-0, courtesy of the RBI triple from Kaylee Burris. Defensively for the Wildcats, it'll be moving left to right. Johnson in the left, Adair in center, Brookerson in right field. Belch over at third, Davila at short, Alani at second base, and Burris over at first. Battery made up of Mylock behind the plate and Bradley in the circle. Leading it off for the Huskies will be the shortstop, freshman Shelby Eccles. Eccles batting .355 on the young season. 2 doubles, 3 triples, and 2 RBIs. Eccles, left-handed batter. Wide open stance. Bradley looks in for the sign. Here's the pitch. Taken for a called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. The 0-1. Line over the head of the shortstop into center field. Eccles takes the big round at first, but retreats back for the leadoff single. And that'll bring up the catcher, Heidi Jaquez. Jaquez, the senior backstop for the Huskies, batting .500 on the year. 4 doubles, along with 8 RBIs. Another left-handed batter. Belch pulled in close over at third, awaiting the bunt, and here it is. Down the first base line. Burris up with it, fires over to first, just in time to nab the speedy Jaquez. But she does her job as Eccles is able to move over to second base into scoring position. Autumn Sidlick stands in now. She went yard yesterday for the Huskies. Comes in batting .400 with 4 doubles, 2 home runs, and 11 RBIs. Wide open stance from the right side. First pitch on the ground towards third. Belch up with it, fires over to first. The runner from second tries to advance to third and slides in safely as Belch able to get Sidlick at first base for the second out of the inning. But Eccles also able to move up 90 feet, or move up to third base. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Caitlyn Brockway, the sophomore. .464 average on the year. 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and 11 RBIs. A meeting in the circle of the ACU defense. The meeting is broken up, and everybody's back to their respective places as Brockway stands in. First pitch to her, taken for a called strike. 1-0 the score is Wildcats able to strike first here in this deciding third game of this opening Southland Conference series between these two teams. Bradley peers in for the sign. Comes to the plate, and this one's fouled up over behind us in the press box. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count. 1-0 the score. ACU leading HBU, but they're threatening here with Eccles over at third and Brockway at the plate. The 0-2 pitch. High and outside, a waste pitch there from Bradley. And the count moves to 1-2. Eccles led off the inning with a single. She was sacrificed over by Jaquez, advanced on the 5-3 putout of Sidlick. And there she stands with 2 away. This one inside nearly hit Brockway, but misses her for the second ball. 2-2 the count. Bradley wasting no time here, delivers the plate to the 2-2. This one's fouled off to the left side out of play. Brockway able to fight that one off and on her hands. Hit that one off the handle. If the inning were to continue, it would be with Jay-Z Roberts, who waits on deck. Bradley rocks and fires. This one's fouled to the left side. We got to play again. Brockway continuing to battle here, 2-2. Once again, 1-0 our score. ACU struck first in the top of the first inning. The HBU bats here with 2 away in the bottom of the first. 2-2 on the ground towards short. Picked up by Davila. Fired over first just in time to nab Brockway. And that'll do it for the Huskies here in the bottom of the first inning. So after 1 from Husky Field, it's ACU 1, HBU nothing. Be back with more on the Husky Sports Network right after this. Welcome back to Husky Field. John Beck for Husky Sports Network. 1-0 our score as ACU leads. We start the top of the second inning. Leading off will be the third baseman, Caitlyn Belch. The senior comes in batting .240 on the year with 1 double, 1 triple, and 5 RBIs. Burris started the scoring with an RBI triple in the top of the first inning. Patak out for her second inning of work. Right-hand batter stands in. The first pitch is laced over to short off the glove of Eccles. Picked up by Roberts, but not in time as the speedy Belch gets down the first base line quickly and reaches to start the inning. That'll bring up the catcher, Avery Mylock. Wide open stance from the right side. The front foot's on that outside line in the batter's box. This one's fouled back to the screen. 0-1. Runner at first. 1-0 ACU as they bat here in the top of the second. Patak gets her signal. This one's bunted right in front of the plate. Jaquez up with it. Fires over to first. Just in time to nab Mylock, her catching counterpart. But she does her job as she sacrifices Belch over to second, and ACU has a runner in scoring position. Belch at second. Randy Davila now in for the Wildcats. Davila, freshman, batting .174 on the year, left-handed batter. First pitch. That one's taken on the outside corner for called strike 1. Davila getting that running stance out of the box as most slap hitters do. Patak with a pitch. This one's fouled down the left side out of play. And it's now no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 to the batter, Davila. Abilene Christian leading 1-0 as they bat here in the top of the second. Caitlyn Belch at second base. Led off the inning with a hard hit single. The 0-2 taken low and outside for ball 1. That ball was scorched, and Eccles wasn't able to handle it. Roberts nearly threw her out, but Belch was too fast down the line. She was just sacrificed over by Mylock. The 1-2. This one's fouled back. Thought she may have missed it, and Jaquez thought she did too. She was racing back to get the ball. But umpire heard a tink of the bat and will stay here at 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. First strikeout of the afternoon for Patak. And there's now 2 away in the inning. That'll bring up the center fielder now, Caroline Adair. Adair, the senior, batting .135 on the year with 2 doubles, a home run, and 3 RBIs. Wide open stance for the right-handed hitting center fielder, and that one's taken on the inside corner for strike 1. Brockway and Sidlick hugging the lines at first and third, respectively. The 0-1 pitch. Taken inside for ball 1. 1-1 the count. 1-0 our score. ACU, they struck first in the top of the first inning as they bat here in the top of the second. 2 away. The 1-1 pitch. Fouled back out of play. The count moves to 1-2. One and two the count. Runner at second for ACU. Looking to add to their early 1-0 lead. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Taken high. And count evens now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Adair peers down the third base line for a sign. Here comes Patak with a 2-2. Foul out of play. And we'll keep it here, 2-2. Outfield playing her pretty straight up. Patak with the sign. 2-2 pitch. Popped. Left side and out of play. As Adair continues to battle here, 2-2. Waiting on deck, if the inning were to continue, would be Danielle Johnson, the leadoff batter for the Wildcats. Two once again. Foul down the left field line. His home plate umpire goes to get more softballs. A lot of foul territory here at Husky Field, but that one was just too far foul for anyone to make a play on it. Wind continuing to blow out to right field. 1-0 our score, ACU leading as they bat with 2 away here in the top of the second. Runner at second base, the 2-2. Taken just off the outside corner. Jaquez held it out there for a long time to try and lobby for that strike 3 call, but to no avail. And the count now runs full. Runner at second. 2 away in the inning. Payoff pitch coming. Here it is. Taken high for ball 4 as Adair is able to work a 2-out walk. Now runners at first and second for the Wildcats. And it brings up the leadoff hitter, Danielle Johnson. Johnson 0 for 1 on the afternoon, lined out to Eccles to start the ball game. Wildcats lead it here 1-0 as they bat in the top of the second. Patak delivers. This one's flown out towards left center field. Left fielder giving chase. Making a running catch in left field is Parker to end the frame and the threat of the Wildcats. And that'll be it for the top of the second. So no runs on 1 hit. No errors, 2 runners left on. After 1.5, the score remains ACU 1, HBU 0. Back with more here on Husky Sports Network right after this. Welcome back to Husky Field. John Beck here for Husky Sports Network. 1-0 our score as ACU leads. HBU bats here in the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Roberts, Bullen, and Jessup due up for the Huskies. Jay-Z Roberts will lead it off. Freshman second baseman for HBU, batting .371 on the year with 4 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, and 9 RBIs. We'll see if this is the greatest show for her as she stands in. Right-hand swinging second baseman. Slightly open stance. Bradley steps in the circle and ready to go. This one's lined towards center field, but unfortunately right at a dare for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out for Bradley to start the bottom of the second. Brings up the center fielder, Riley Bullen. Bullen, the senior, batting .333 on the year. 2 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, and 11 RBIs. She's tied with the RBI lead on the team with Sidlick and Brockway. First pitch to her. Misses inside, 1-0. 1-0 our score. ACU leading as the Huskies bat here in the bottom of the second. Again, these teams are looking to win this rubber match to see who takes the series. Low and in the dirt for ball 2. Southland Conference play opened up this weekend. As Bullen awaits the 2-0 pitch. Fouled down the right side and out of play. Two and 1 the count now. Jackie Jessup, the HBU Husky DH, waiting on deck. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Kind of a changeup there, misses high. And it's now 3-1. Roberts led off the bottom of the second with a scorching line drive that was caught by the center fielder, and this one misses wide for ball 4. So Bullen draws a 1-out walk. And that'll be a runner on for Jackie Jessup, the DH. Jessup, freshman, batting .300 on the year, 1 double and 1 RBI. Bullen over at first, the right-handed batting Jessup, awaiting the first pitch. Low crouch from her. This one's taken for strike 1. Bullen takes a few practice cuts and steps back in. Gets back into that crouch, waggles the bat over the plate. The 0-1 misses outside, a throw down to first, but Bullen back in safely. 1-1 the count. Wind continues to blow out towards right field. Haven't seen anybody take advantage of it yet as the 1-1 comes in. That one is taken low below the knees for ball 2. After not having many pitches out of the zone in the top of the first, Bradley struggling a bit here in the bottom of the second. 2-1 pitch. Taken for a strike at the letters, and the count evens now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1-0 the score. ACU leads as HBU bats here in the bottom of the second. John Beck here for Husky Sports Network. Live from Husky Field in Houston, Texas. The 2-2 is lifted towards short. Little pop that's caught easily by Davila. And that's the second out of the inning as Jessup pops out to the shortstop. That'll bring up the right fielder now, Sierra Humphrey. Humphrey, the left-hand hitting junior right fielder for the Huskies. Batting .263 on the year with 2 doubles. First pitch to her. Taken for a called strike on the outside corner. Runner at first is Riley Bullen. She drew the 1-out walk. Two away in the inning. 1-0 the score. The 0-1 pitch. Just off the outside corner. Mylock tried to frame it there, but to no avail, is called a ball. Humphrey stands back in. Rests the bat on her shoulder. The 1-1. Taken for a called strike. A little high, but called a strike nonetheless. 1-2. Bullen over at first. 2 away in the inning. 1-0 ACU leading as we play here in the bottom of the second. The 1-2 pitch from Bradley. Nearly hits her, gets away from the catcher, Mylock. And Bullen will trot easily down to second. She throws down anyway, but she was already standing on the bag. Not sure if that'd be a pass ball or a wild pitch. It was pretty high and inside, and Mylock had to reach across her body in order to catch it. We'll just say the runner advanced. And it's now 2-2. Slightly open stance from the left side for Humphrey. She waits a 2-2 pitch. Taken low and outside, and it's full now. 2 away in the inning, runner at second. Bullen. Full count to the batter, Humphrey. Bradley toes the rubber, the payoff pitch. On the ground towards first, backhanded by Burris, steps on the bag. And that'll do it for the Huskies here in the bottom of the second innings. No runs on no hits, 1 runner left on. And after 2, the score remains ACU 1, HBU nothing. Back with more here on the Husky Sports Network right after this. And welcome back to Husky Field. Top of the third inning. Leading it off for the Wildcats will be the DH, Val Rudd. She singled and came around to score the lone run of the ball game so far. Back in the top of the first. Batak out for a third inning of work. This one's on the ground towards third. Bounces just outside the bag for strike 1. Rudd stands back in, wide open stance from the right side. Batak the pitch. Popped left side. Sidlick gives chase, but she'll look at this one into the stands. Foul ball for strike 2. Batak looking over to the dugout to get the signs. Checks the wristband to see what the code was, and here's the 0-2 pitch. Just off the outside corner for ball 1. 1-2 the count now to the Wildcat DH. Waiting on deck is the pitcher for ACU, Samantha Bradley. The 1-2 pitch. Lifted towards left field. Left fielder Parker gives a chase, but that'll be That'll land foul. And the count remains 1-2. 1-0 score. ACU leads as they bat here in the top of the third inning. 1-2 again. Taken high and outside for ball 2. Count evens now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Patak gets the sign. 2-2 pitch. Up the middle, a diving attempt by Eccles, but comes up empty. And that'll be a leadoff single for Val Rudd. 2 for 2 now with 2 singles. Bradley now up for the Wildcats. She popped to the catcher Jaquez back in the top of the first inning, 0 for 1. Rudd over at first. The first pitch to Bradley. Low and outside for ball 1. Bradley looks down to third base for the sign. Steps back in, slightly open stance from the right side. Rests the bat on her shoulder and now brings it up. Is she ready to go? 1-0 pitch. Lifted. Left field and deep. Parker running back towards a track to the wall, and that ball is gone. Sam Bradley helps herself out here with a 2-run homer for the Wildcats, and they lead it now 3-0. That ball just kind of carried and carried. I thought Parker might have had a play on it. About to enlist some major league. Too high, but no, it landed over the left field wall for a home run. Two-run homer off the bat of Sam Bradley leads to a conference in the circle with the HBU infield. 3-0 now, Abilene Christian. It looks like a change is going to be made here. Pataki's out. And now to pitch is Lindy Swanson, the freshman. So we'll let her go through warm-ups, and we'll be back with more right after this. ACU 3, HBU nothing. Pitching change for the Huskies as Swanson comes in. We'll be back right after this. Sam Bradley helped herself out with a 2-run homer over the left field wall as ACU now leads it 3-0. And now to pitch for the Huskies is Lindy Swanson. The freshman stands in down 3-0. And in to hit is Kaylee Burris. She delivered the first run of the ball game for the Wildcats with an RBI triple back in the top of the first inning. Burris stands in against Swanson the first pitch. Taken high for ball 1. Sidlick and Brockway in at the lines. The 1-0 is fouled back to the screen. 1-1 the count now. Burris going with no batting gloves as she stands in, wide open stance from the left side. Swanson gets the sign. The 1-1 fouled back to the screen again. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. No outs in the inning as Rudd led off with a single, and then Bradley brought her home with a 2-run shot over the left field wall. ACU leads it 3-0. Top of the third from Husky Field on the campus of HBU. This one's inside, nearly got Burris, but she's able to get out of the way, and the count moves to 2-2. Swanson coming in with a little more velo than we saw from Patak. Here comes a 2-2. This one's a changeup. Out towards center field and caught easily by Bullen for out number 1. Changed up on her, and Burris was a little out front. Hit it off the end of the bat, and Bullen easily caught it in center field for the first out. With 1 away in the inning, brings up Shaylee Alani. 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to the third baseman Sidlick to end the top of the first. First pitch to her in this at-bat, lifted out towards left field. Eccles gives a look at it, but it's in the glove of Parker for out number 2. Caitlyn Belch now in for ACU. She had a hard infield single her last at-bat. That was in the top of the second inning. She bats here in the top of the third with 2 away now, and the first pitch to her is high and tight for ball 1. Three to nothing to score. Abilene Christian leading HBU. Swanson in now for the Huskies. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Taken low for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Belch. She stands back in. Swanson delivers the 2-0 pitch. On the ground towards short. Eccles up with it. Fires over to first to Brockway and nabs Belch for the final out of the inning. But ACU does damage with 2 runs on 2 hits. That being the 2-run, one of them being the 2-run homer from Bradley. After 2.5, scores now ACU 3. HBU nothing. Back with more here on the Husky Sports Network right after this. And welcome back to Husky Field. John Beck here for Husky Sports Network. 3-0 the score as ACU is leading HBU. Huskies to bat here in the bottom of the third inning. It'll be 9-1-2 due up for HBU. Parker, Eccles, and Jaquez. Cameron Parker stands in her first at bat of the game. The senior left fielder is batting .130 on the year. No doubles, no triples, no homers, no RBIs. Parker, left-handed batter. Slightly open stance from that side. First pitch to her is lifted down the left field line. Left fielder gives chase. A diving attempt, but comes up empty, does Johnson. For strike 1. Johnson nearly made a highlight reel play, but fell into foul territory. No balls, 1 strike. Parker stands back in. Bradley, the 0-1. On the ground towards second. Alani up with it. Over to Burris for out number 1. 4-3 if you're scoring along at home for out number 1. And that'll bring up the top of the lineup for HBU and Shelby Eccles. Eccles singled back in the bottom of the first inning, but was stranded at third. Here comes the first pitch to her. Line down the right field line, just foul, and I'm not sure about that one. I thought I could see some chalk kick up down the right field line. But foul nonetheless for a long strike 1. If that wasn't right on the line, it must have been just slightly off. It was really close, though. The 0-1. Misses off the outside corner, 1-1. 3-0 to score. ACU leading here as HBU bats at the bottom of the third inning. Here's the 1-1. Back to the pitcher, Bradley. Fires over to first, and there's 2 away. And that'll bring up the HBU backstop, Heidi Jaquez. Jaquez, no official at-bats so far for her. She sacrificed Eccles over to second back in the bottom of the first. Left-handed batter stands in, open stance. Hands held about helmet high, first pitch to her. Called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. That front foot for Jaquez on the outside line in the batter's box. This one's chopped over towards short. Short hop fielded by Davila and fired over to first for out number 3. So that'll do it for HBU here in the bottom of the third. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. After 3 from Husky Field on the campus of HBU, the score is Abilene Christian 3, Houston Baptist nothing. Back with more on the Husky Sports Network right after this. Top of the 4th inning for Abilene Christian. It'll be 7, 8, 9. Bottom of the lineup due up. Mylock, Davila, and Adair. Husky volleyball in action this afternoon across campus. They're leading Central Arkansas 1-0, and are leading 14-13 in set 2. Mylock stands in. 0 for, actually no official at bats so far. Sacrifice bunt back in the top of the 2nd inning. Swanson out there now for 2nd inning of work. First pitch. Swing and a miss. Big swing from Mylock, but came up empty. 0-1. Patak, 2 official innings, giving up 3 runs. Swanson came in and relieved her in the top of the 3rd after the home run from Sam Bradley as Mylock fouls this one back, 0-2. So Swanson out for her 2nd inning of work. 3-0 our score. Abilene Christian leading as they bat here in the top of the fourth. Time called as Mylock was thinking that Swanson was taking a little bit too long in the circle. They're back to it now, 0-2. Fouled back to the screen. Mylock able to stay alive. John Beck here for Husky Sports Network. Thanks for joining me on this Saturday afternoon. The flags in center field are kind of starting to blow in towards home plate as the 0-2 pitch taken on the outside corner, caught Mylock looking for strike 3. Backwards K for Swanson, her first. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Randy Davila. She's 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Only strikeout victim for Patak. Back in the top of the second, attempts a bunt, misses for strike 1. Swanson rocks the 0-1 pitch. Bunt right back to Swanson. Fires over to Roberts, who's covering first for the second out. Davila tried to use the speed, but was thrown out on the bunt attempt. 1-4 would be the call. As Roberts was covering first base, Brockway was charging hard on the bunt. And that'll bring up Caroline Adair with 2 away in the inning. Nobody on. Center fielder for ACU stands in the first pitch to her. Taken for a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Adair, no official at-bats. She walked back in the top of the second inning. Stands in here against the freshman Swanson. The 0-1. This one's caught on the run by Eccles out towards left field, and that'll do it for ACU here in the top of the fourth inning. A 1-2-3. First one in the afternoon for the Huskies. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on for ACU. Score remains 3-0 after we played 3.5. Be back with more HBU softball here on the Husky Sports Network right after this. Heart of the lineup due up for HBU here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 3, 4, 5. Sidlick, Brockway, and Roberts. Bradley's still out there for ACU, and why not? She's leading 3-0. Flags continuing to whip around out there in center field, now blowing strongly out towards right. Sidlick will stand in 0 for 1. She grounded out to the third baseman Belch back in the bottom of the first. Bradley gets assigned the first pitch. Taken just off the outside corner for ball 1. Belch pulled even with the bag over at third base, as is Burris at first. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Taken for a called strike on the outside corner. Count evens now, 1 ball, 1 strike. Some fans have made their way outside beyond the left center field wall as a 1-1 pitch. Misses outside for ball 2. standing just above the I will sign over there in the power alley in left center. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Changeup. Buckled the knees of Sidlick. She took it for strike 2. 2-2 the count now as Sidlick stands back in. Wide open stance. Low crouch from the right side. Bradley with the 2-2. On the ground towards third, but it'll go foul. That was in on the hands of Sidlick, and she kind of dropped the bat after she swung it. Little stinger. Always hated those. Count remains 2-2. Caitlyn Brockway, the sophomore first baseman, awaits on deck. 2-2 pitch. Head out towards right center field. That's going to get down for a knock. Up against the wall as Sidlick rounds first, heads into second. Throw comes in, not in time. And Sidlick leads off the bottom of the 4th inning with a double. Autumn went with the pitch towards right center field. Led off the inning with a double, and here comes Caitlyn Brockway. Sophomore first baseman stands in, no batting gloves. Slight crouch from the right side, 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Grounded out to the shortstop, Davila. Back in the top of the first, or sorry, bottom of the first. This one's fouled back out of play, 0-1. Sidlick stands at second. She just led off with a ringing double. Here comes the 0-1 to Brockway. This one's lined out towards left field. That made, no, it's caught on a dive by Johnson. Sliding down to her knees. Caught it in the air for out number 1. Thought Brockway may have snuck a hit in there and able to advance the runner, but Johnson said, no, ma'am. One away in the inning. Sidlick at second. Standing in now is Jay-Z Roberts. She's 0 for 1, lined out to the center fielder. Back in the bottom of the second. First pitch to her in this at-bat. This one's lifted. Down the left side. Left fielder Johnson gives chase. She's in the corner, but this one will be out of play for strike 1. Long strike number 1. Sidlick over at second. 3-0 the score as ACU leads as HBU bats here in the bottom of the 4th. Wide open stance for the second baseman. The 0-1. This one gets past the catcher, Mylock, and Sidlick will advance over to third. That'll be marked past ball. 1-1 the count now. HBU with another opportunity to cut into this lead for the Wildcats. Runner at third, Sidlick. 1-1 pitch. Lifted down the left side, but foul. A ball and 2 strikes now to Roberts. Waiting on deck is the center fielder, Riley Bullen. 1 away in the inning. 3-0 our score. But HBU threatening here in the bottom of the 4th. Bradley comes to the plate with a 1-2. Chopped towards the pitcher. Bradley fields it, fires over to first. Burris looks back. The runner, Sidlick. And there's now 2 away in the inning. Bradley may have gotten nicked up there a little bit.
And congratulations to Denise. The Huskies got a base hit by Autumn Sidlick in the 4th inning. You have just won a prize pack.
It was a hard chop towards the circle. Kind of surprised Bradley, because she delivered a changeup to the plate, and she's actually, as she's patting the inside of that thigh, she may have taken one there. Trainer comes out, has a look. I'll award her some warm-up pitches here. She tests out the leg. 2 away in the inning after the 1-3 put out. that did not allow Sidlick to score. And the score remains 3-0 in favor of ACU. Riley Bullen stands in now, 2 away in the inning. Sidlick over at third. She led off the inning with a double and advanced on a pass ball. Bullen, no official bats today, walked, and her lone plate appearance back in the bottom of the second. She fouls this one off, 0-1. Bullen worked a 1-out walk back in the bottom of the second. Takes this pitch outside. Count evens now, 1 ball, 1 strike. Stands back in here as Bradley gets her sign. Delivers the 1-1. Lifted towards shortstop. Davila camps underneath it, though, and catches it for out number 3. So once again, HBU gets a runner over to third, but unable to push her across. No runs on 1 hit. No errors, 1 runner left on. After 4 here from Husky Field on the campus of HBU, the score remains Abilene Christian 3, Houston Baptist nothing. Back with more on the Husky Sports Network right after this. First pitch, the leadoff batter, Danielle Johnson, is taken for a called strike 1. 1, 2, and 3 due up for the Wildcats here as they bat in the top of the 5th. They lead it 3-0. Swanson out for her 3rd inning of work. The 0-1 pitch, taken for a called strike 2. Bullen in center shaded slightly to left field. The 0-2 pitch misses just off the outside corner for ball 1. Bit of a tongue twister there. One ball, 2 strikes to count. Johnson standing in 0 for 2. Here is the 1-2 pass, the glove of Sidlick over at third, and that'll be for an infield single. So Johnson reaches base for the first time this afternoon. She leads off the top of the 5th with a single. And that'll bring up the DH, Val Rudd. Huskies unable to retire yet this afternoon. She's 2 for 2 with 2 singles, came around to score both times. Looks down to the third base coach for the sign. Open stance from the right side. The first pitch from Swanson. Runner off. And this one's fouled at the plate. Almost looked like a hit and run. I couldn't tell. Johnson kind of got a jump over at first as the pitch was coming in. Foul ball nonetheless, 0-1. Here is the 0-1 pitch. On the ground towards the pitcher. Picked up by Roberts, and she's taken out at second base. Roberts was standing in the baseline there, and Johnson went in to slide into second. Thought they might have had a chance or two, but Johnson broke that up, and everybody's safe. So Rudd will reach on the fielder's choice. And now there's 2 runners on with a big, dangerous bat of Sam Bradley up. Bradley, 1 for 2. The big one was a big one. Homer over the left field wall back in the top of the third to give the Wildcats a 3-0 lead. First time throw down to third. Delayed steal there by Johnson. And she's dead to rights over at third base. Heads up play there by Jaquez to get her for the first out of the inning. So 1 away after they caught stealing. 1 runner on still with Rudd, who reached on the fielder's choice. The 0-1 pitch, this one's fouled. Oh, 0-2 the count to Sam Bradley. Swanson gets a sign. 0-2 pitch. Taken high for ball 1. Swanson back in the circle. Delivers the 1-2 pitch. Fouled back high off the screen. Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Waiting on deck is the first baseman for the Wildcats, Kaylee Burris. Over at first, Val Rudd reached on a fielder's choice. Johnson was on the base pass, but taken quickly off by Jaquez as it caught stealing it. Swing and a miss. Bradley goes down on strike, second strikeout of the afternoon for Swanson. First of the swinging variety. And that'll bring up Kaylee Burris with 2 away in the inning on runner at first. First pitch to Burris, fouled back to the screen. 0-1. Burris is 1 for 2 on the day, tripled. Home the first run for ACU back in the top of the first, and then flew out to center field in the top of the third. She was actually the first batter that Lindy Swanson faced when she entered the ballgame back in the top of the third inning. The 0-1 lifted out of play, fouled on the left side. 0-2 the count. Runner at first, Rudd. 2 away in the inning. 3-0 the score as the Wildcats of ACU are leading. Swanson with the 0-2. Foul down the left side. Sidlick gives a chase, but that'll be down near the HBU dugout. Count remains 0-2. Swanson peering in the dugout for the sign. Steps back on the rubber in the circle, and she's ready to go. The 0-2 once again. Popped right side. Roberts camping underneath it and squeezes it for out number 3. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on for ACU. After 4.5, the scores remains Abilene Christian 3, Houston Baptist nothing. Back with more on the Husky Sports Network right after this. Take me out to the ball game over the loudspeakers here as the 5th inning stretch is underway. HBU will have 7, 8, and 9, the bottom of their lineup here in the bottom of the 5th inning against Sam Bradley, the pitcher for ACU, still out there now for her 5th inning of work. It'll be Jessup, Humphrey, and Parker due up for the Huskies. They trail here by a score of 3-0. Bradley provided some of her own fireworks as she added to the 1-run lead. ACU took the lead in the top of the 1st inning with an RBI triple from Kaylee Burris. Then Bradley helped herself out in the top of the 3rd with a 2-run bomb over the left field wall. And they lead it here 3-0. Jackie Jessup popped out to the shortstop her last time at bat. The DH for the Huskies will stand in from the right side. John Beck for Husky Sports Network, bringing the game live from Husky Field on the campus of HBU here in Houston, Texas. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. First pitch, swing, big cut and a miss by Jessup, 0-1. Belch pulled even with the bag over at 3rd, as is Burris over at 1st base. The middle infield playing back. Outfield playing straight up here against Jessup. The 0-1 misses outside. 1-1 the count now. HBU in the gray uniform tops this afternoon. White pants, gray belts, great stirrups. Looking pretty clean. That one misses high for ball 2. Huskies emblazoned on the front. And that royal blue outlined in white and the royal blue numeral outlined in white on the back. A white piping on the jersey as well. That one's taken for a called strike. Jessup thought about offering, but pulled the bat back, and count now at 2-2. ACU, the road team this afternoon, but they are wearing white uniforms. ACU on the front in purple and white, a purple numeral on the bottom right side of the jersey. This one's fouled back. 2-2 remains. A purple and white stripe on either shoulder. Purple numeral on the back. White pants with a purple piping down the side. As Jessup will stand back in here. 2-2 coming from Bradley. Here it is. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jessup comes up empty on that swing attempt. First strikeout of the afternoon, actually, for Bradley. And there's one away here in the bottom of the 5th. Brings up Sierra Humphrey, the right fielder. She's 0 for 1 on the afternoon. 3 unassisted back in the bottom of the 2nd. Humphrey stands in the first pitch to her. This one's lifted right side of the infield. Running back is Burris, and she'll catch it just in front of the outfield grass for the 2nd out. So Humphrey pops out to the first baseman Burris for the 2nd out of the inning. And that'll bring up Cameron Parker now with 2 outs and nobody on. Parker is 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out to the 2nd baseman Alani in the bottom of the 2nd. Sorry, bottom of the 3rd. First pitch to her in this at-bat. Misses just low, according to the home plate umpire, for ball 1. Mylock turned around and looked at him, asked where it was at. He said, yeah, that was low. And it's 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Line towards first, but snagged by Burris out of the air for the final out of the inning. No runs on no hits, no errors, nobody left on for the Huskies. After 5 play here in Husky Field, it's ACU 3, HBU nothing. Back with more on the Husky Sports Network right after this. Welcome back. John Beck here for Husky Sports Network. A little update from across campus. HBU took the second set in their match with Central Arkansas. And they're leading set number 3 by a score of 12-9, looking to finish off the sweep. Due up here for the top of the 6th for ACU. It'll be Alani, Belch, and Mylock. 5, 6, and 7. Due up for the Wildcats as they lead 3-0. Swanson out once again in the circle for her 4th inning of work. Alani stands in 0 for 2, grounded out to the third baseman Sidlick back in the first, and flew out to the left fielder Parker, her last at bat. And this one's grounded on to Brockway over at first, steps on the bag, 1 away. 1 pitch, 1 out for Swanson here at the top of the 6th. And that'll bring up Caitlyn Belch. 1 for 2, singled back in the second, grounded out to the shortstop in the third. First pitch to her. Taken a little high for ball 1. Belch stands back in as Swanson gets a signal. 1-0 pitch. Taken for a called strike at the knees. Count evens now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Sidlick slightly in front of the bag over at third base, as is Brockway over at first. Outfield playing her straight up. Here's the 1-1. On the ground towards second. Diving attempt made by Roberts. Picks it up, fires over to first. Not in time, according to the base umpire. And I'm not sure about that one. Was a bang-bang play over at first. Usually a tie goes to the runner, I guess. But what a play by Roberts just to get to that ball and fire over to first. Looked like she nabbed her, but not according to the first base umpire. So that'll be a single for Belch with 1 away in the inning. That'll bring up the catcher now, Avery Mylock. Mylock 0 for 1. Her only official at bat was a strikeout looking, courtesy of Swanson, back in the 4th. First pitch to her, swing and a miss. Swanson's 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Tried to go after the high cheese there, did Mylock, but came up empty. And it's 0-2. Oh, into the count. Here comes Swanson. Just off the outside corner. Hawkes held it there for a while, trying to get that third strike call, but to no avail. The count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3-0 the score here as the Wildcats bat. They lead it in the top of the 6th inning. The 1-2 pitch from Swanson. Taken for a called strike 3 and caught Mylock looking for the second time this afternoon. And there's now 2 away. Randy Davila now up for the Wildcats. She's 0 for 2 on the afternoon. First pitch to her, catches the outside corner for strike 1. The slap hitter struck out back in the second and grounded out to the pitcher on a bunt attempt in the 4th. 0-1 the count to her here. 2 away in the inning, top of the 6th. ACU leads it 3-0. That pitch, throw down to second as Belch was off and running. Slides in safely to second base with a stolen base. She's over at second now. And that pitch missed low and outside for ball 1. Sidlick pulled in close over at third base still. Now the shortstop Eccles pulls in close, and that one's swung on and missed. Slap attempt by Davila came up empty. The count now is 1-2. Eccles kind of even with the bag, even with the second base bag. Roberts playing slightly behind. This one's fouled off to the left side. The count remains 1-2. 2 away in the inning. Belch over at second base. Reached on an, we'll just call it controversial infield single. Looked like Roberts may have nabbed her, but first base umpire said that was not the case. Either way, she's standing at second, 2 away. ACU leads it 3-0. The 1-2 pitch on the ground towards short. Eccles up with it, fires over to first to nab the speedy Davila and gets her for out number 3. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on. After 5.5 from Husky Field, score remains ACU 3, HBU nothing. Back with more on the Husky Sports Network right after this. Deep in the heart of Houston, Texas, we are this afternoon, bringing you Husky softball here on the Husky Sports Network. John Beck live from Husky Field. Abilene Christian leading 3-0 as the Huskies bat here in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be 1, 2, and 3 to face the right-hander Bradley. Eccles, Jaquez, and Sidlick. Eccles, the freshman shortstop, will lead it off here for the Huskies in the bottom of the 6th. She is 1 for 2 on the day. Singled and was stranded at third back in the first. Grounded out to the first baseman back in the 3rd inning. Stands in here with their Huskies down 3-0. Running out of time. First pitch to Eccles. Taken for a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. All-time series between these two teams. ACU leads it with 9 wins. HBU's 8 losses in the series. Pitch misses outside for ball 1. Taking a look ahead for both these teams. As 1-1 pitch comes in. Skied, right side. Brookson gives chase, but that one's into the bullpen down the right side. 0-2 the count now. Up next for HBU. Both teams playing non-conference games as customary with the middle of the week games. On the 16th. One-two pitch. Foul down the right side, again out of play. Count remains at 1-2. HBU travels up 290-6 over to College Station on the 16th to face the Aggies of Texas A&M at 6 p.m. And ACU makes their way to Stephenville to take on Tarleton. 3:17 on March 17th at 6 p.m. Those are the upcoming games for the two squads here. The 1-2 pitch spoiled down the left side out of play as Eccles continues to battle. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3 consecutive foul balls here. Waiting on deck is the Husky catcher, Heidi Jaquez. One-two. Chopped over the pitcher's head. Shortstop Davila up with it. Not in time, though, as Eccles reaches safely on the infield single, courtesy of the Baltimore chop. And Eccles leads off the bottom of the sixth with the infield single. Brings up Heidi Jaquez now. 0 for 1. Had a sacrifice bunt back in the first. See if she'll do something similar here. Then she grounded out to the shortstop in the third inning. Jaquez fouled at the plate. 0-2. Sorry, 0-1. Oh, 1. Fouled at the plate. 0-2 the count now to Jaquez. Runner at first is Eccles. She just singled to lead off the bottom of the sixth inning. HBU trying to get back in this game. They trail 3-0 at the hands of the ACU Wildcats. Bradley gets the signal for Mylock. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. As Jaquez goes down swinging. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Bradley. There's one away in the inning. That'll bring up the third baseman, Autumn Sidlick. Sidlick, 1 for 2. Grounded out to the third baseman back in the first and doubled and was stranded at third in the fourth. First pitch to her. Taken for a called strike. 0-1. Crouch from the right side, open stance for Sidlick. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Popped right side. Burris gives chase, but will fall in foul territory for strike 2. That one got in on the hands again of Sidlick. She was able to fight it off for a foul ball. Eccles at first, one away in the inning. 3-0 the score as Abilene Christian leading Houston Baptist. Bradley with the 0-2. Here it is. Way outside for ball 1. Waiting on deck is Caitlyn Brockway, the HBU first baseman. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line to third, but right into the glove of Belch. She fires over to first to try and double off Eccles, but she gets back in safely. 2 away now in the inning after the line out from Sidlick. Lined out to her counterpart Belch over at third base. That'll bring up Caitlyn Brockway. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Grounded out to shortstop back in the first and flew out to the left fielder in the fourth. First pitch to her here. Misses off the outside corner. Ball 1. Brockway has the pop to make this a one-run game, that's for sure. 2 home runs on the year, 11 RBIs. Changeup taken for a called strike. 1-1. One pitch. Brockway a little out front. Fouls it off, almost off her front foot. Either way, it's 0-2. Sorry, 1-2. Eccles over at first, 2 away in the inning. Shelby led off the inning with a single as the Huskies bat here in the bottom of the 6th, down 3-0. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Lifted right side, out of play. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brockway stands back in. Bradley gets a signal from Mylock. Comes to the plate with a 1-2. On the ground towards Bradley, picks it up, fires over to first to Burris, and that'll do it for the HBU here in the bottom of the 6th. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on. After 6 complete from Husky Field, the score remains ACU 3, HBU nothing. Back with more on the Husky Sports Network right after this. Top of the 7th inning. Wildcats coming to the plate. Looks like we'll have a change here for ACU. Brianna Tiarina will step in for ACU and bat here for Carolina Dare. 9-1-2 leading 9-1-2 for ACU here in the top of the 7th. Now will be Tiarina, Johnson, and Rudd. Tiarina, a senior infielder, pinch hitting here. Takes the first pitch low for ball 1.
See y'all at soccer.
All right, we'll see you over there.
Yeah.
The 1-0 pitch taken for a called strike on the outside corner. Swanson in for her 5th inning of work. She relieved Patak back in the top of the 3rd inning after Patak was unable to record an out there. It's been Swanson the rest of the way. The 1-1 taken high and outside for ball 2. Tiarina, a slap hitter from the left side. Swanson has held the Wildcats scoreless so far in her innings of work. But ACU does lead it 3-0 as they bat here in the top of the 7th. Past the outstretched glove of Sidlick over at 3rd for a single for Tiarina. And ACU leads off the top of the 7th with a runner. That'll turn over the lineup to the top now, and Danielle Johnson. Johnson 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Lined out to the shortstop back in the 1st, flew out to the left fielder in the 2nd, and singled and was caught stealing back in the 5th. First pitch to her. Taken for a called strike 1. Tiarina over at 1st. No outs in the inning. Johnson bats here with an 0-1 count. The 0-1 pitch. High for ball 1. Sidlick playing in front of the bag over at 3rd. Brockway slightly in front of the bag over at 1st. Middle of the infield looking to turn a double play. Swanson, 1-1. High and outside for ball 2. Flags blowing out towards right field as we play here in the top of the 7th inning. The 2-1 pitch taken for a called strike on the inside corner at the knees. The count evens now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Abilene Christian leading Houston Baptist here 3-0 as they bat in the top of the 7th. No outs. 2-2 pitch. Lined out towards left. Parker takes a few steps in and 1 step back and catches it for out number 1. Tiarina stays over at first base, unable to tag on the play. That brings up Val Rudd. Rudd is 2 for 3 on the afternoon. Singled, came around to score in the 1st. Singled, came around to score in the 3rd. And reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Swanson's first pitch to her here. This one's lined towards 1st. Brockway catches it for out number 2. Just off the end of the bat for Rudd. And Brockway retires her. And I'll bring up the pitcher now for ACU, Sam Bradley. Bradley 1 for 3, but it was a big one. Home run back in the 3rd inning. Extended the Wildcat lead to 3-0. A 2-run shot over the left field wall. First pitch to her here. Taken low for ball 1. Tiarina over at 1st. 2 away in the inning. The 1-0 pitch. Hit out towards right. Running back is Humphrey. That'll be overhead to the wall. Tiarina rounding 3rd, heading home. Bradley standing over at first base with another RBI, a 2-out RBI single this time, and ACU will extend their lead to 4-0. That one carried well off the bat of Sam Bradley. First run given up by Swanson since she's entered the ball game. We will have a pinch runner for Bradley over at first base. I believe it's Lacey Johnson, the sophomore. Burris steps in now, scores now 4-0 Wildcats after another RBI off the bat of Sam Bradley. First pitch to Burris. This one's on the ground over towards second. Roberts bobbles it, picks it up over to Brockway at first for the final out. But ACU does get an insurance run here in the top of the 7th. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on. Heading to the bottom of the 7th inning, it's Abilene Christian 4, HBU nothing. Back with more here on the Husky Sports Network right after this. Bottom of the 7th inning, last chance for HBU here as they trail 4-0. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Huskies. Roberts, Bullen, Jessup. Sam Bradley looking to finish off the complete game. Shutout as her Wildcats are leading 4-0. Roberts stands in, 0 for 2. Line out to center fielder and grounded out back to the pitcher in the 4th. First pitch to her here, cut on and missed. 0-1. Bradley delivered her 3rd RBI of the game in the top half of the inning. She stands in the circle now, delivers the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Changeup had Roberts out in front. And it's 0-2. Roberts gathers herself, stands back in. The 0-2 pitch. Low and outside for ball 1. Mylock liked where that waist pitch was at. She acknowledged it back to her pitcher. The 1-2 pitch fouled off, tomahawked by Roberts. She stays alive there. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Awaiting on deck is Riley Bullen. Roberts stands back in. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled down the right side. Burris gives chase, but that'll be up against the dugout fence. 1-2 remains the count. Roberts was down 0-2 quickly, but since has taken a ball off the outside corner and fought off 2 pitches to remain the count at 1-2. 4-0 the score here as ACU leads as the Huskies bat in the bottom of the 7th. 1-2 pitch. taken just outside. Roberts may want to take advantage of the extra life just given to her by the home plate umpire. That was a pretty close pitch on the outside corner. Count now at 2-2. Jay-Z steps in. 2-2 pitch to her. Fouled down the left side. Scolded off the screen. Actually bounced back to the pitcher. Bradley in the circle. Roberts still fighting here. 2-2 the count. Bradley. 2-2 pitch. Change up. Pop towards center field. Adair takes a few steps in, the center fielder, and catches it for out number 1. Good battle there by Roberts, but to no avail as she's retired with a fly out to center field. That'll bring up Riley Bullen, the center fielder. Bullen 0 for 1. Walked back in the second. Popped out to the shortstop in the fourth. First pitch to her here. Another one of those change-ups taken for a called strike. Just floats in there. And has had the Husky batters off balance all afternoon. 0-1 pitch. Fouled back to the screen. 0-2 the count now. 1 away in the inning, bottom of the 7th. ACU leading HBU 4-0. John Beck coming to you live from Husky Field on the campus of HBU and the Husky Sports Network. Bradley gets her sign, the 0-2 pitch. Fouled back as Bullen starts to battle here with 2 strikes. Riley takes a few practice cuts. Steps back in the right side. Rests the bat on the shoulders, slightly open stance from the right side. Here is the 0-2 pitch again. Popped right behind the catcher. Milak dives and makes the play. She lost it. She was trying to see through her mask and dove and made the play behind the plate for out number 2. So Bullen pops out to the catcher for the second out of the inning, and HBU's down to their final out. Jackie Jessup standing in now. Oh, no, we've got a pinch hitter, actually. Katie Janes, the freshman, standing in here for Jackie Jessup. First pitch to her. That's a called strike on the outside corner. Umpire must have a lunch date. The 0-1 to Janes, lifted out towards right field. Brookison catches it for out number 3, and that's the ball game. No runs on no hits, no errors, nobody left for HBU in the bottom of the 7th, as Abilene Christian wins this one by a score of 4-0. Notables: Sam Bradley pitches the complete game shutout and knocks in 3 of her own. One of them, a 2-run shot over the left field wall that kind of broke open the scoring for the Wildcats, and then drove in the 4th run of the ball game for ACU in the top of the 7th. Then able to shut down HBU 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the 7th to complete her complete game shutout. HBU now moves to 1-2 in conference play. ACU now 2-1. Once again, upcoming games for both these teams. HBU travels to Texas A&M on March 16th at 6 p.m. Abilene Christian travels to Stephenville and to face Tarleton on March 17th at 6 p.m. The loss will go to Patak. Jessica Patak with the loss on the year now moves to 3-3. Pitched 2 innings, give up 4 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned. Did have 1 strikeout. Swanson wound up giving a 1 earned run herself. 3 strikeouts for her. And was able to shut down the Wildcats basically up until the top of the 7th, where they scored that 4th insurance run. Some stats for HBU. Eccles went 2 for 3. Jaquez 0 for 2. Sidlick 1 for 3 with a double. Caitlyn Brockway 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Jay-Z Roberts 0 for 3 as well. Riley Bullen 0 for 2. She had a walk back in the second. Jackie Jessup went 0 for 1. Sorry, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Sierra Humphrey 0 for 2. Cameron Parker 0 for 2 as well. For ACU on their side, Danielle Johnson 1 for 4 on the afternoon. Val Rudd 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored. Sam Bradley, the big bat of the afternoon for the Wildcats, 2 for 4 with a 2-run homer, a single, and 3 RBIs. Kaylee Burris went 1 for 4 with a triple. Shaylee Alani 0 for 3. Caitlyn Belch 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. Avery Mylock went 0 for 3. Randy Davila went 0 for 3. Carolina Dare went 0 for 2, and Brianna Tiarina was 1 for 1 in her pinch hit role. Once again, final score here from Husky Field. It was Abilene Christian 4, HBU nothing. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Thank you to everyone who made this broadcast possible at the Husky Sports Network. This is John Beck signing off. Until next time, once again, the final score, Abilene Christian 4, Houston Baptist nothing.